I don't mind. Okay. Was the training useful? Since this is being recorded, I'm going to say yes. No, I'm joking. No, definitely this was useful. I really enjoyed it. At the beginning, when you looked at what was being covered in the course, I initially thought, I've done a few of them. But now joining this course, it makes you realize again some of the things that you've forgotten over time. And brings back memories of previous discussions you had and how I have changed since then as well, and how my viewpoint of certain things has changed. So it's very, very good and very useful to do these type of courses every now and again. So I really learned a lot. I think the biggest takeaway from this would be, and I've brought it up a few times towards the end of the week and starting of this week, is having not just open and honest discussions, but more frequently as well. And I think that's a shortcoming, especially in this COVID time. It's just having a quick call to somebody is nice and easy to go, but usually that wasn't a very specific and fruitful conversation. It was about helping a client out or sorting out an issue. But I need to have more discussion with my staff on what can we do going forward, what assistance do they need, what can we do to make work life better, or what can we do from a company's perspective to help our clients out? So having much more fruitful conversations and more frequently, I think that's my biggest takeaway.
Right, thank you, Michael. Anybody willing to go next, or am I going to pick on you?
I'll go next.
Daniel.
Oh,
So, did you find it useful? Yes, I did. It helps us in a lot of ways that we are not aware of. What I take away from this course is what I've learned on how to be what's the difference between a good leader and a good manager. That's what I've learned the most about it. And I will definitely put that to use, be a better listener, and listen to what other people have to say before I make a decision. That's me.
Thank you, Daniel.
I'll be the third. Oh, Tiffany, go first.
Okay, thank you, Moses. I actually just want to get it out the way. I have terrible noise here, so I don't think you should record, but you can use it if it doesn't sound too bad. Sure, I've learned a lot in this 2 weeks. Not just only work related, but even personally. Because at the end of the day, the leadership qualities is not just about how you act at work, it's how you act as a person, which affects your work overall and your leadership qualities. So there was a lot to take away from this and to implement. I'm really glad that I was able to do this. Even though it was remotely, I thought it was going to be boring, to be honest, because it's just going to be all of us through a screen listening, but it became so much more, you became so much more involved in it, and the way you guys did it remotely, it was really good. And obviously made friendships along the way. So yes, I think I'm on the same page with everybody with the listening and the leadership to being a manager. Those are definitely the things that stood out for me, and what I'll take away from this past 2 weeks.
Thanks so much, Tiffany. Who wanted to go next? Was it Moses? Moses.
Yeah, well, Richard, me and you have to talk. I'm interested on what you have in the on the background. I will like to remind you that I once said I was not consulted. And I can see somebody's looking at me, and then that look. I was not consulted, but nevertheless, I'm grateful that I was not consulted, because I think if I was, I would have said no. And I'm glad that Tiffany didn't consult. He just put me on this training, and I'm very grateful. It has actually opened up a lot, and I've gained quite a lot of insights. Was it useful? Yes, it was greatly useful. The presentation was spot on. As a senior citizen on this group, I never thought I would be able to grasp as much as I did on this kind of a platform. At least I can go back home and tell my kids that I also can do stuff on Zoom. But anyway, honestly, the presentation was good. The structure was also good. We were given the opportunity to discuss, and that actually, made me prepare myself when coming to this training. And the insights that I've gained are quite a lot. I don't know where to start, but to be honest, I will agree with Daniel. The definition, it's not the first time. Normally, people will tell us that there's a difference between leadership and manager, but this handbook actually defined it clear. Now I can be able to explain to anyone who would like to understand the difference or the distinction between a leader and a manager. The manner in which it was explained to us is clear now to me. I can tell when I'm on if I act as a manager or as a leader. So that is something that actually I am going to be able. It is going to improve how I do things, not only at work, but even at home. Something that I never knew before that I will also take home is understanding the distraction of leadership presence. That as a leader, you can sometimes be absent due to the distractions. And another thing is a team development cycle. Understanding that cycle, it helps you, to be able to understand the team, to be able to be acceptable to others around you, and to understand my strengths so that I can use them, to my advantage. Honestly, I'm glad, and I was actually going to ask if I can get that grid that actually showed my strength. I would like to keep it, but I was not able to write everything down accordingly. I would like to keep it if it can be provided. Resistance. Normally, I thought if somebody resists, it's something bad. But today, I've learned that it's not that. To resist, resistance to change doesn't really mean a bad thing. It can actually help you, try new methods or ways of doing things. And but most of all, this one I can't forget. Listen to understand. This is the biggest one. I'm taking this. I'm going to apply this for the rest of my life. You have to start listening to understand. Sometimes I used to just listen and then I know what I'm going to say. I'm just waiting for you to finish. But now, I think I missed out a lot on understanding and on resolving issues quicker if I applied this skill. So it's a skill that I'm starting already to develop. And I think I will apply this, as I said, for the rest of my life. Thank you so much, Lizelle. Thank you, Richard. Thanks to our philosopher. What is his name again?
Krista.
Christo. Thank you to the beautiful team.
Thank you so much, Moses.
Thank you, Moses. Can I go next, please?
Yes, Joy.
Thank you. Okay, so this workshop actually served as a compass for me, a compass that gives me direction to identify my strengths and my weaknesses. And it was an emotional roller coaster for me, but it strengthened me actually, because I had to confront my weaknesses, especially the basement, even the basement of my strengths. I had to confront that, and I realized that, okay, I'm human and I need to empathize with myself. And I know Christo said that to me, and that stood out for me. And only when we can identify that we are humans, we will be able to give that to our teams, and practice that and live through that. And then what was the other one? What will I do differently? Also, like Moses, listening to understand, and then also planning more. So that's what I'll definitely try and change going forward. And I'm very grateful for the relationships built, and we just gelled. We were just the best team this leadership course has ever had. I just feel that we are the best. But thank you all. It was lovely meeting you all, and I hope that we will be each other's support system going forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joy. Daniel, do you want to go? No, have you gone? No, you have gone. Sorry, I muted you because there was an echo. Okay.
Well, I can go first. Not first. I can go because I'm having so many thoughts going through my head. Firstly, I would like to thank Roy. He knew what he did for me to be here. Thank you. Yeah. Alex, I think it's Alexandra, once said that, I've actually wrote it down because it came in my mind, that if the flower does not bloom, you fix the environment and not the flower. And what I saw for the session was actually fixing the environment being the leadership and being the manager, to say then we can then go and be a right environment for our flower to actually bloom, you know. And that's what, and I feel it same as Joy, it was actually an emotional roller coaster for myself, you know. And I had unanswered questions about myself, and luckily they were answered here, you know. And the elements or the sessions that really touched me was choosing to be a leader, team dynamics and conversations that matters, that really take my attention. I was really interested and fascinated by them. And also just for me to know what type of a person I want to be going forward. It really helped me in that space to say, okay, I know the don'ts and don'ts, the do's and don'ts. So then I'll be able to actually be a mirror in people's life, and also my strength. They really help me. I think they will come very handy in my next lifetime.
Thanks so much, Lingiwe. Randall, I think you wanted to go.
Yes, thank you. Was this useful for me? Absolutely. At first, like Moses said, I got the message, you're doing this. So I was actually very nervous, especially with the strength test. But luckily there you had to answer on impulse. You couldn't think. I knew my strengths, and the fact that somebody can point out my strengths, for me it was actually amazing, and it was spot on. What I also found is that some of the other strengths that's also in this course, also some of them applies to you, but you don't use them every day and as much as the 5 that they showed out to you. And what I also found is that through this sitting, all managerial or leaderships actually boils to one thing and to the same thing, that we need to listen, we need to talk, we have to have empathy towards our co-workers, towards ourselves, to your family. It actually opened my mind towards going forward in my role as a manager or a leader or whatever what is decided for my future. And I can now actually face it with confidence, or a bit more confidence than where I was expressing myself towards my superiors, my team, to the whole group that I'm working with, and not even them, even the people I talk to every day, managers, foremen in different dealerships. And what I would do different now is I had previously had some courses in management and leadership, but they never emphasized the difference between management and leadership as it was in this sitting. And I see now that actually being a leader is much more of an advantage than being a manager. It depends on your personality. And I think this sitting is actually important for managers who is managers and not in a leadership role, so they can also learn actually how to communicate with people below them. That would make the workplace such a better place. I talked about merging the two, and I think everybody is pointing in that direction. And because life is so fast these days and everything is on such a high demand, orders, giving orders and receiving orders and planning needs to be done correctly, and this sitting can help you. I will always go back to this leadership handbook that we've got here, and I will fall back on the context of it when I get into a situation where I don't know where to or how to handle stuff. So I say thank you to you for leading this, And I say thank you to my superiors having the trust in me to sign me up for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Randall.
I'll go next.
I think it's just me and Candice left.
I see Daniel raise his hand. Do you want to say something before I go, Daniel?
He's just playing with the reactions.
Oh, okay. I think when I was put onto this course, I didn't actually know what to expect. So I had a bit of reservations, but I wasn't really sure what to expect. I'm actually really grateful for being on this course because I think the first few days or the first few modules really focus a lot on introspection. And before you can tackle or become a leader or a manager, you need to understand yourself from within. So the first week for me was really eye-opening. It just forced me to really evaluate myself as a person and to really look within, because I've taken away that you can't be effective to others when you don't understand what's going on with yourself and you don't understand. So you can't give if you can't give to yourself. I've also taken away that your strengths are a good thing. So it's just about being able to effectively use your strengths and to sort of part that onto others. So for instance, like learning is a strength for me. It's something I've always learned about myself. I like to learn. And coming with learning also comes teaching. So maybe it's also moving forward, becoming more of a teacher with everything that I've learned. So that's also a very big thing for me, just using my strengths and also using them to empower others as well. And I think one of the modules that really stood out for me was really the conversations. I was looking for that book. Murray mentioned the book, Crucial Conversations. So I found it on Amazon. I'm gonna buy it this weekend. But that's a very big thing, you know, just talking to people, getting them on the same page, really. There's a word I'm looking for, but you know, being focused on the individual, I think is a big thing, and I think it's something that we tend to forget about and not to focus on. So we tend to focus on ourselves a lot and not on the other, and understand where the other person is. So overall, I've enjoyed this course. I just wish it was live, because I like sitting at the venue, because there's lots of distractions when you're at the office. But I enjoyed also meeting all of you guys as well. I think you guys are phenomenal. And I also enjoyed what you call them, breakouts in Don, because you also learn, you see that some people are going through the same thing that you are, and you also learn as well. So I took a lot away from the breakouts, that we had. So thank you to everybody for this. I've really, really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Norma. I see Candice and Kelly had to go, unfortunately. So Marie, that leaves you.
Okay, my experience of the Leadershift program, I thought it was incredibly valuable in that it allows leaders to really engage at a human level. It also has very well-researched content, but equally it has very practical steps and skills for both at a management and a leadership level. What one can expect to do differently is really become more conscious around strengths. What I appreciated is it was really around strengths beyond the individual. It's really around being more conscious of one's strengths, that of your teams, and even elevating it to an organizational level. I think in this ever-changing world of the new norm and things changing at a rapid pace, it really gives leaders the capacity to be able to work with change in a very practical way. That was very useful. And overall, it gives leaders a great sense or some great tools to be more present and deliberate about leadership, as opposed to just trying to figure it out it empowers them throughout the employee life cycle. So that was my experience of it. And thank you, Lisa, you're an incredible facilitator.
Thank you so much, Marie. Wow, everybody, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. It has been very special. I'm going to miss you on Monday morning.
Aww.
But let's keep in touch. So from my side, just thank you so much for the way you showed up. You know, we can design and plan this thing around lots of conversation, because we really believe in conversation. But if you're not willing to take part in it and chat and open up and be authentic and share and be vulnerable and learn together, then it won't help. So thank you for the way that all of you have showed up. It was such a good group. Joy, I agree with you, best ever.
Told you.
Yeah, so thanks. And I hope our paths cross again soon.